I'm back. I know it's been 6 months and there have been so many changes. I no longer live in Oklahoma. I live in Texas where I grew up. And today I have a topic for you that's been 6 months in the making. Well, actually probably 8 months in the making. When I made the decision to move back, one of my friends asked me, Tracy, can you do a video about how you deal with change? The change that you choose and the change that you don't choose. It took me a little while to figure out how to answer that question, but then one day I heard an amazing quote and I just knew how to answer that question. You want the answer? Do you want the quote that influenced the answer? Well, sure you do. So grab a chair, your favorite drink, and come on back and let's get started. Welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Tracy Dickens, a psychologist. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad that you found me. And if you've been here before, well, welcome back. I bet if I did a poll of 100 people that I randomly bumped into on the street and asked them if they like change, most of them would say, nope, do not like change. But here's the thing. From the moment we're born until we die, we change. And the world around us changes. Change is a constant in life. I know it's kind of this oxymoron, change is a constant, but it is. It's going to happen. And whether we choose it or not, it can be difficult to navigate. Here's something many of you may not know, that there are stages to changing. And you experience these stages whether you choose the change or you don't choose the change. So before I give you the quote, I want you to understand the stages of change that we all experience. In the 1970s, James Prochaska and Carlo De Clemente presented 6 stages of change. The first stage is Precontemplation. This is essentially denial. You don't even acknowledge that there's a problem. You don't acknowledge that anything needs to be changed or that anything has changed. It's akin to having a broken leg, but absolutely denying the fact that you have a broken leg. And when people point out to you that you have a broken leg, you look at them like they're crazy. Like, no, my leg is fine. You're the problem. But no, you legitimately are limping because you have a broken leg. You just don't see the issue. Or if life is going good, you don't see the need to change anything because why bother? Life is going good. The second stage is contemplation. This is when you are starting to realize, hey, yeah, I think something's going on with my leg. You want to do something, but doing something may mean that you have to make sacrifices. You have to make some changes, give up some things, learn some things, make some adjustments. And man, are you ready for all of that? But you're thinking about it. You're toying with the idea of being ready. So now in stage 3, you're like, okay, definitely my leg is broken. And yes, I think it would be a good idea to do something about it. But what are the pros and cons? Or who should I go to help me? You start looking up information. You start getting curious and asking questions. Maybe you look for a doctor. Maybe you look for a therapist. You start doing something to kind of prepare yourself for action. So then you have stage 4. This is when you apply what you've learned and the information that you've gathered out of your curiosity and your pros and cons and investigating. Once you've gotten in your groove, you are acting, you are doing your thing, you will find that you get into a maintenance stage where you have your rhythm, you like your actions, you get better at using those coping strategies, you're doing your workout, you recognize that there's something within you that maybe you didn't see before. And you are trying to maintain this new way of being. Because here's the thing, change isn't a constant trajectory up. It's a series of forward motions and backward steps and zigzags and upside downs and all arounds. The thing about relapses, when we find ourselves doing old behaviors that we thought we left behind, you find yourself revisiting past you or past expectations or past behaviors. And we all do it because, well, like I said before, change can be difficult whether you choose it or not. As a therapist, I help people move through these stages. But here, it's really hard to move through these stages because of one addiction I think we all share. And here's the quote. The most pervasive addiction in the human race is comfort. Yeah. Truth. Truth, man. Sometimes that thing hurts. Take a really close look at your life, in all the areas of your life. Money, food, job, family, where you live, spirituality. When someone wants to change things and how things function in those areas, it's kind of thrown at you. How do you respond? Be honest. I bet some of you are like, Change and I, we're best buddies. We're BFFs. Okay, so if I tell you to change what time you wake up in the morning, or to take a different route to work, or to change what you eat on Tuesdays, so it's no longer Taco Tuesday, or I'll tell you to give more to the church offering, or maybe you need to do a different ministry. If I suggest things for you to change, or someone comes into your house and moves things around, how will you respond to that change? Maybe some things won't bother you, but I guarantee you there's an area in your life that you are not so open to there being change. We all have those spaces. All of us do. Because at the end of the day, we like comfort. It's not even comfort, it's that it's familiar. Even if it's something bad, we can overwork and we know that it's bad for family life. We know that it's bad for our health, but we do it anyway. Why? Because it's familiar. There's certainty. There's comfort in that. We get angry and yell at people and cuss them out. Why? Because it's familiar and comfortable. That is why. And we don't make the changes and we say, oh, this is just how I am, or this is just how it has to be, because it's familiar. It's comfortable. So how do we really break that cycle? How do we really get out of that addiction with comfort? Well, I personally think it starts with how we think about change. For you faith-based folks out there, you will recognize this scripture. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. What does that have to do with change? It's a mindset shift. We have to change how we think about change. If you continue past that scripture that most of us can quote in our sleep, you will see that Paul says this: we have to be a little bit more humble, and we have to recognize that it's not just about us and what we want. It's about our interconnectedness. If I don't embrace change, and if I don't move myself through those stages, as uncomfortable as they may be, whether I choose it or not, then not only does it cause me to be stagnant, and if you've ever walked by stagnant water, well, you know that has a smell that you don't forget, but it also impacts the people around me. If I have a broken leg and I don't deal with the broken leg, then it affects the rest of me. It starts messing with my back, it starts messing with my neck, it starts messing with how I sleep, and then that's going to impact how I eat and how I interact with other people. Recognizing that my unwillingness to face that discomfort and get to the other side, it leaves the people around me in discomfort. It just adds to everyone's pain and suffering. Here are 3 things you can do to start to shift your mindset, your way of thinking about change. The first question is, ask yourself, what am I focusing on? Am I focusing on the discomfort of the change or the possibilities that can come forth because of the change? Question number 2 is, what are you telling yourself? Are you projecting your pain and suffering into the future? Are you projecting your comfort into the future? Because here's the thing, it's all going to change. It's all temporary. It's not going to stay. So whatever pain and suffering that you're experiencing now that you may be trying to avoid with drinking, overeating, sleeping, working, whatever it is that you're doing, it's temporary. It's temporary. It's temporary. And the discomfort of changing, it's temporary, whether you choose it or not, because it's all changing, it means it's temporary. Question number 3. What are you believing about yourself? Are you viewing yourself as weak and incapable? Or are you seeing yourself as a human being that has flaws, but you can also learn and grow and progress? Because looking at these 3 areas will change how you face change when it comes at you. So tell me down below which of these tips and suggestions or questions really helped you the most. And I look forward to seeing you again. Push the subscribe button so you can come back and hang out with me. And thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, choose joy. Bye.